Lagos Island shimmered beneath the evening sun, its skyline a blend of wealth and struggle. Inside a marble-walled mansion in Banana Island, silence reigned, not the peaceful kind, but the kind that echoed loneliness. Maverick Olamide Cole sat by his glass balcony, sipping whiskey as the breeze tousled his dreadlocks. 25, a tech genius, heir to a multinational empire, yet empty inside. His eyes were cold, his heart colder. Everyone knew his name, but no one truly knew him. His parents, in Dubai again. Probably forgot today was his birthday. Not that he cared. They had missed every birthday since he turned 15. All he got were scheduled wire transfers and emotionless messages. Proud of you. Keep building. Inside, the mansion was grand but lifeless. Staff walked on eggshells. He was known for his temper, firing cooks for using too much salt or less salt, slapping a driver for not opening the car door fast enough. But beneath the arrogance, behind the designer suits and barking orders, was a boy who had never known true affection. The world had handed him everything except connection. He stood now, watching the city lights flicker. "Happy birthday to me," he muttered dryly, raising his glass to no one. The Cole mansion was hell, or so the agency staff whispered. In just 2 months, 5 house helps had quit, some left in tears, others in fury. One even tossed her apron at the security guard, shouting, "He's a devil, not a man." Maverick didn't care. He considered everyone beneath him. His mansion wasn't a home, it was a fortress of dominance. His rules were strict, his punishments swift. Wake him 2 minutes late. Fired. Step too loud on the marble floor. Fired. The estate manager, Mr. Bamidel, was at his wit's end. "Sir, we've run out of referrals," he said nervously. "Nobody wants to work here anymore." Maverick scoffed, "Then offer 500,000 monthly. Let's see who's brave enough to last." Mr. Bamidel's eyes widened. $500,000 for a house help. Consider it hazard pay, Maverick snapped. By evening, a bold new notice was posted on the mansion gate. 500,000 monthly for a live-in house help. Must be hardworking and committed. Apply within. But in a house in Ajegunle, a girl named Imelda saw the notice on her way home from the chemist. She paused. Her heart thudded. She had no idea this decision would change her life forever. Imelda balanced a small nylon of medicine in one hand and her mother's medical file in the other. The late evening sun cast long shadows over Ajegunle's dusty streets as she made her way home. Just before the main road, something caught her eye. A sleek, black G-Wagon parked beside a tall notice board. A laminated poster fluttered in the breeze. She stepped closer. 500,000 monthly for a live-in house help. Must be hardworking, silent, and committed. Apply within. Location: Banana Island. Her breath caught. 500,000 a month. She read it again, slower this time. 500,000 naira. That was more than their rent for 2 years. More than she had ever seen at once. But Banana Island, that was a different world. Marble floors, gated security, people who spoke through tinted windows. She knew the risks. Wealthy homes weren't always safe, especially for girls like her. Still, her mother's cough echoed in her ears. Money for her mother medication and her petty trading job barely kept them fed. That night at home, Imelda placed the medicine on the stool and knelt beside her mother's bed. "Mama," she whispered, "I saw something today. A jab, but it's in Banana Island." Her mother blinked tiredly. "What kind of job, my daughter?" "House help, but they're offering 500K and accommodation. But I can't leave you here all by yourself." Her mother, "Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. I will take my medicine on time." Imelda swallowed hard. Her heart aches at the thought of leaving her mother alone, but the rent was due. Her mother's drugs were running out. She nodded slowly. The next morning, she's submitting her application. 2 days later, she got a message. "Congratulations, you've gotten the job." Imelda stared at the screen. The sun barely peeked over the horizon when Imelda stood outside the massive Cole mansion. clutching a small nylon bag with her only change of clothes. The estate's security guards eyed her skeptically before letting her through. Inside, the air was cold, not just from the AC, but from the silence, marble floors, golden chandeliers. Everything screamed wealth, but no one smiled. A tall steward led her to the living room. "Wait here. He doesn't like lateness." Her heart pounded. She had arrived exactly at 6:02 a.m. She was just 2 minutes late. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Finally, Maverick Cole appeared, barefoot, dressed in a black robe. His eyes were bloodshot, not from sleep, but from the hangover. 6:02, he said flatly. Imelda stood quickly and bowed slightly. "Good morning, sir." He didn't reply. Instead, he stepped forward and slap. The sound echoed across the marble tiles. Imelda staggered, clutching her cheek. Her eyes welled up, but she refused to let the tears fall. "That's for being late," he said coolly. "Let that be your first and last warning." She blinked back the sting. "I was here by 6. Another slap. You're here to work, not to argue." She nodded silently, lips trembling. The 500,000 floated in her mind like a distant lighthouse. "Clean the kitchen, cook my breakfast, and don't speak unless spoken to." She bowed again and walked away, tears slipping down her cheek once she was out of sight. "Welcome to the mansion, Imelda." Imelda's hands trembled as she cracked 2 eggs into a bowl. The kitchen was spotless, sterile almost, with more buttons and machines than she knew how to use. She stuck to the basics: fried eggs, bread, and tea. Simple, safe. But in this house, nothing was simple, and definitely not safe. She carried the tray to the dining table, set it down, and stepped back quietly, just as the steward had told her. Maverick walked in, scrolling through his phone. He barely glanced at her or the food. He took 1 bite of the egg, chewed once, then spat it out. "What the hell is this?" he barked. Imelda flinched. "Fried egg, sir, with bread and..." Crash! The plate flew across the room and shattered on the floor. The yam followed, then the tea. All of it scattered across the pristine tiles like an emotional explosion. "You call this breakfast?" he roared. "You want to poison me." "No, sir." Imelda fell to her knees, trying to gather the shards with her bare hands. A piece cut her finger, blood mixing with egg. "You're worse than the last one," he sneered, standing over her. "They said you were hardworking. Clearly, they lied." She didn't answer. She couldn't. Her throat was tight with pain, shame, and silent rage. Later, in the privacy of her small staff room, Imelda dialed her mother's number with shaky fingers. "Mama," she whispered, voice cracking. "I don't think I can do this." Her mother's voice came gently, like balm. "You can. Hold on. One day everything will be fine." Imelda wiped her tears. She would endure. She had to. Days blurred into each other like a slow, painful dream. Maverick remained a storm, unpredictable and cruel. He hurled insults like arrows, treated her like furniture, and found fault in everything she did. If the floor gleamed, he pointed out a streak. If his tea was hot, he said it burned his tongue. Imelda worked like a machine, mopping, cooking, washing, silent, invisible. But inside, something was breaking. Each night, she sat on her mattress, knees hugged to her chest, staring at the cracked ceiling above her. Her body ached. Her hands were raw. And her heart was slowly deflating. "Mama," she whispered during their nightly calls, trying to sound strong. "I'm okay, just tired." Her mother's soft voice would always say the same thing. "God is watching. It won't be forever." But forever was starting to feel real. One afternoon, as she polished the long corridor mirror, she caught her reflection. Tired eyes, bruised arms, and a sadness so deep it scared her. Was this who she was becoming? A ghost in a gold-plated house? Maverick strolled past without a glance. She didn't expect one.